Have you ever really looked at your salary slip and wondered, what's the story here? Because it's so much more than just a number. It's actually a story written by decades of laws and regulations. Today, we're going to peel back the curtain and demystify the Indian laws that decide how, when, and what you get paid.
So what is a paycheck when you get right down to it? I mean, beyond the cash, it's a promise. It's a legal agreement. And behind that single piece of paper, there's this whole framework of laws designed to make sure you're being treated fairly. At the very heart of it all is this one super simple idea: a wage. It's a straightforward trade. You give your work, and your employer gives you payment. But, as you and I both know, in the real world, it's almost never that simple. And that brings us to what I like to call the great pay puzzle. Why does one job pay so much more than another? It might seem totally random sometimes, but trust me, there's a logic to it. And figuring that out is our first step. You see, there are a bunch of key factors all working together. Of course, your skills and your education level, those are a huge piece of it. But then there are all these other things that are kind of outside of your control, right? Like what industry you're in, where you live, and frankly, how many people are looking for someone with your exact skill set. Even how risky your job is can change your pay. Let's make this real for a second. Think about a software engineer versus a retail cashier. The engineer has these super specialized, high-demand skills that took years to learn. That naturally means higher pay. That massive gap, well, that's what's called a wage differential, and it's right at the center of this whole puzzle. So with all these different factors pulling in different directions, the million-dollar question becomes, how do you make a system that's actually fair for everyone, from the engineer to the cashier? Well, the answer is you build a legal framework. And that is exactly what India has been doing for almost 100 years. This timeline right here, this shows you the key moments, the landmark laws we're about to walk through. Each one adds another layer of protection, another guarantee of fairness for people at work. All right, let's start at the beginning with the absolute basics. Think of this as the foundation. These are the rules that make sure you get paid, period, and that there's a safety net so no one can fall through the cracks. Our story kicks off all the way back in 1936. This is the one, the Payment of Wages Act. This law is the bedrock of everything else. It makes a very simple but incredibly powerful promise. You have to be paid on time, and your boss can't just invent random deductions to take money out of your check. This is the law that makes your income something you can actually count on. Now, let's jump forward to 1948, right after independence. This was the next huge step, the Minimum Wages Act. See, it wasn't enough to just get paid on time. You had to get paid enough to live. This law created a legal floor for wages, a line that no employer can cross. It's a safety net, really, to stop exploitation and make sure every worker can afford a basic standard of living. Okay, so we've got the foundation laid. You're getting paid, and you're getting paid enough. The next set of laws started to look at something different: how to reward good work and, just as importantly, how to make sure everyone's being treated fairly. By 1965, the whole conversation had shifted a bit. It was now about sharing in the success. And that's where the Payment of Bonus Act comes in. The idea here is pretty cool and really simple. If a company does well and makes a profit, then the employees who helped make that happen should get a piece of the pie. It directly connects your hard work to the company's success. Then we hit 1976, which was an absolutely landmark year for equality in the workplace. This is when the Equal Remuneration Act was passed, and its core principle is just so beautifully simple and powerful. It says that if you do the same work, or even work that's pretty similar in nature, you must get the same pay, period. Doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman. It's a crucial legal weapon against discrimination. So we've covered getting paid on time, getting a fair wage, and getting rewarded fairly. The final piece of this whole puzzle is about something else: your future. It's about planning for tomorrow. For this, our first stop is actually a little jump back in time to 1952. This is when a really crucial law was passed for your long-term security, the Employees Providence Fund, or EPF. The best way to think about this is like a mandatory retirement piggy bank. Every single month, a part of your salary gets put away. And here's the best part: your employer is legally required to put in a matching amount. It forces you and your company to save for your future. Okay, now fast forward 20 years to 1972. This is when another long-term benefit got added to the mix, the Payment of Gratuity Act. You can think of this one as a loyalty bonus. After you've stuck with a company for several years, you get a big lump sum payment when you leave. It's the law's way of making sure your employer gives you a financial thank you for all those years of service. So when you step back and look at it all together, from the basic promise you'll get paid on time, to the minimum wage floor, to equal pay, bonuses, and those retirement funds, you start to see this incredible, comprehensive legal framework. It's a safety net that's been woven over decades, all to protect and empower you, the worker. And that brings us to right now. The thing is, these laws were built for a very different world. Today, with automation, AI, and the gig economy completely changing what it even means to work, the big question we're all left with is, what's next? What will the next chapter of these laws look like? And what will the story of our salary be in the future? That's something we're all going to have to figure out together.